Honestly, I don't know what goes on in these people's heads, you know? Silvia Abravanel, daughter of Silvio Santos. It just came out in the news. She gave an interview saying that she will run for federal deputy, right? The interests, well, they say it's to help people and all that, okay? Silvia, one of Silvio Santos's daughters, right? She's the one who always behaved differently. She always showed herself to be supportive, you know, against injustices and all that. Even on her social media, there were several times when she supported President Bolsonaro and all that. Then she gives an interview to Metropolis, guys. That's outrageous, look at this. Here, look, remember, Silvia Abravanel, candidate for federal deputy from PSD. To start with, the party, right? From KSIB. Let's go with KSIB's party, man. Remember all that mess SBT got involved in at the end of the year and all. The strangest thing is that she always presented herself as a Bolsonaro supporter, supporting him publicly. Now she changed her mind, right? People are asking why. Look at her posts here. Silvia Abravanel, God, Homeland, Family, 22, and so on, right? Today she gave an interview to Metropolis saying that Moraes acts impartially. Take a look. Daughter of the host, Silvio Santos, pre-candidate for the position of federal deputy. Silvia Abravanel says she considers Alexandre de Moraes' actions to be impartial. In an interview, the businesswoman stated that the minister has pros and cons. I'll play a little excerpt here. Guys, what a disappointment. Because among Silvio Santos' daughters, we thought, based on her social media, she had a right-wing stance and all. Now she says she's centrist. The PSDB. Which is the PSDB, right? The PSDB is considered centrist and all that. We're in the center and all that. Neither right nor left and all that. But, okay, that's fine. But to say something so absurd, now we understand, my friends, that there's no one over there at SBT. I'll be honest with you, from the management, the owners and all, Silvio Santos' daughters, together with that guy, Fabio Faria, who abandoned President Bolsonaro halfway through back in 2022. Look, it breaks your heart. Because I believe that Silvia still had, you know, a better sense of what's right and what's wrong. We still thought so. Look at what she says to me here.
The pros also have cons, right? Like the Supreme Court has pros and cons. He has to be very well, I think at the speed of light he has.
At the speed of light? Man. And remember that. Look, with all due respect, but Silvio Santos' daughters had access to the best education that schools could offer. They had it. Speed of light. It's speed of light when it's about saving Lula from some trouble. Speed of light when it's about putting Bolsonaro in any kind of trouble. But they move like turtles, right? When it comes to explaining the absurdities like, you know, the 129 million from the wife's contract, right? The message with Vorkar still hasn't been explained. Not yet.
You have to quickly think about how to judge, what to judge, and why to judge it. I think he has always been impartial in every situation. I think he's doing his job perfectly, just as he should. But you know, everyone judges him in their own way, because not everyone likes the judgments he makes.
But in your opinion, he acts with impartiality.
He has to act, because when we're at the top of the food chain, we have to be impartial on all sides. We have to evaluate both sides, because there are always three truths. There is one person's truth, another's, and the real truth. He tries to combine these perspectives to judge what needs judging.
I'm going to show you impartiality. I'll show it here. The person already announces their pre-candidacy, already knowing they're gonna get a tiny number of votes. It's not money that defines a campaign these days. It's not money that defines a campaign. Just so you have an idea, I'm nothing. I'm nothing. I ran in the last 2024 campaign. I got almost 1,000 votes. I only campaigned here. But all the money that the party, that the PL gave me, I returned it all. There was no money from businessmen, even friends, honest people offering. I was like, no, I don't accept it in any way. Not even from willing people, from businessmen and such, much less public money. I only did it here, on the channel. And like, our channel has national reach. It's a much smaller number here in my city, right? Because it's a smaller city, right? For context, I have more friends who follow me in Ribeirão Preto than in Rio Preto, because Ribeirão Preto is larger. I also have more followers in Campinas. Campinas is larger. My friends from Campinas follow me because it's bigger than Ribeirão Preto. Just so you have an idea. 0, 0, 0. The only thing I used was some campaign flyers, which the party gives to everyone and stuff. Still, many were left because I don't think it's right. I don't even think that campaign flyer is right. Not even those campaign flyers. They gave me a bunch of stickers to put on cars. I only put them on my wife's car. That's it. The rest were all left over. All of them. Never. I was going to go around asking people, put the sticker on your car, but I don't do that. Even when asked, I don't think it's right or correct. But it's, Fabiano, that's why it doesn't matter. I don't want to win in a way that I think is wrong. Others may do it, but I think it's wrong and won't. I won't do it. And Silvia has all the money in the world, but doesn't that decide the election, doesn't it? In a small town like ours, compared to the others, I got almost 1,000 votes. I became an alternate, right? And I'm very proud that I didn't use a single cent. And I don't even need to tell you that everyone else did. Just because everyone does it doesn't mean we have to. Now, who do you think would vote for Silvia? Abravanel? It was us. Because we're disappointed with that Fabio Faria guy, with Patricia Abravanel, with the other daughters Daniela Abravanel, Daniela Beirute, if I'm not mistaken, and so on. Because of the outrageous things we saw happen at the end of the year over there at SBT. And it was a channel we loved. We loved it. We don't love it anymore. Saying that Moraes is biased. So explain it to us, Silvia, with all due respect. I'm not going to say more than that. I'm not going to criticize strongly because my affection and love for Silvio Santos has always been so great. So great. So great. It hurts my heart to have to say anything about a relative of Silvio Santos. It hurts me. And I'm not acting here. I'm not putting on a show. No. I've been following Silvio Santos since, well, I used to, right? Since I can remember. Since I can remember. Since I was a kid. And it hurts me to have to say something about someone who feels like family. It hurts my heart. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. A lot. A lot. I thought Silvia would be different, Silvio. Because I wanted her to explain things to us. He is impartial. So look here for us, Silvio. Collor was convicted of bribery and money laundering. Bolsonaro for criminal organization and attempted coup d'etat. The difference is that Collor went through 3 levels of review. Bolsonaro only had the Supreme Court and Zando's first panel. The first panel, Silvio, that's the impartiality you claim. Xandão. Flávio Dino, Cristiano Zanin, Carmen Lúcia. Impartiality. Is that what it means to you, Silvio? Impartiality? He didn't even bring it before the full court. Not even before the full court. Okay, there are still more facts. Collor was granted indefinite house arrest. Unlimited. Bolsonaro has 90 days. Impartiality. Collor can use the cell phone and the telephone as much as he wants, Silvia. Bolsonaro can't even touch a phone. He can't even touch it, let alone use it. Collor can use his social media as much as he wants. Bolsonaro can't. Look at the situation he's in. He wants to take Bolsonaro back to jail because Eduardo made a recorded video. It wasn't even live. And he used it as a possible excuse to make things harder for Bolsonaro. Even Maduro, Sílvia. Even Maduro can use social media, if you didn't know, in the United States. Even Maduro, who looks just like Bonner, right? He really does want to see. Let me show you all here a photo of Maduro that was released today. He looks just like him. It's impressive, my goodness. I've never seen such a resemblance. Look at Bonner's face. Look at Maduro. He looks just like Bonner. Just like Bonner look. But getting back to this, Silvio. Collor can record videos and audio recordings. Bolsonaro can't. Collor can have external communication with whoever he wants. Bolsonaro can't. Collor can have unrestricted visits. Bolsonaro can't. Collor can have vehicles and visitors entering without inspection whenever he wants. Bolsonaro can't. Collor doesn't require monitoring in the external area. At the condominium where he lives, Bolsonaro doesn't. Right? It doesn't even need monitoring in the external area and monitoring. Everything is here. Look, it's all laid out here. They duplicated it. Moraes granted a 90-day humanitarian house arrest so that Bolsonaro can recover from bronchopneumonia. After that, there will be a reassessment. There you go. Honestly, Silvio, with all due respect, Bolsonaro is right there with you. Do you still think Moraes is impartial? Is he fair in his decisions? Hold on. If you think this is justice, Silvio, everything Alexandre de Moraes is doing to Bolsonaro, I'm sorry. You don't deserve the vote of anyone from the right or even the center because you know the left will never vote for you. Never. The left doesn't vote for you. You know that. It's very sad to see someone who has always been part of so many Brazilians' lives through your shows say something like that. And it's not a matter of opinion, okay? Everyone has their own, but according to the data here, Moraes is not impartial, Silvio. Moraes has nothing impartial about him. Moraes, Bolsonaro almost died. He almost died. How is that impartial, Silvio? She said she's going to support Caiado, and all, for sure. Everyone has the right to choose. I think that's right, really correct. Everyone should support whoever they think will be a better person. But to say that Alexandre de Moraes is impartial, you own the second biggest TV channel in the country. The second one, which until yesterday was valued by, yes, conservatives and the right. And that's not the reason why you should be on the right, no. But we always saw a little more, actually much more, justice and decent and honorable people at SBT. Totally different from Globo, which we know is a den over there. Then you come out with something like that, honestly. I'm extremely disappointed, Silvio. Extremely disappointed. It's not about liking Bolsonaro or Flavio or not. But to say that this man you're seeing there in the center is fair, is a fair person, I'm sorry. It hurts my heart, okay? It hurts my heart. Finish, Silvia. This is a video from when I was a child, and I remember it like it was today. On Sunday I watched it, and we managed to recover it here on the internet. Okay? Although very upset and sad, he has his heart shattered. To see a relative of this person whom we love so much in life, right? There's a stance as difficult and complicated as this. Let's put it that way. We refuse, when I say it, we refuse to criticize more strongly. Because having the father, I won't. Playing your video could cause problems, Silvio. But I'm gonna take it and put it here. Look, this little boy had a dream, right? Silvio Santos on that day takes me back to my childhood. This little boy had a dream of giving his father a concrete mixer as a gift. His father was a bricklayer. And he, Silvio Santos, was talking, right? Look at that. You want to honor your father, right? And the boy replies, I don't want to see him doing heavy labor. Silvio Santos asked, don't you work together? Back then I started working with my father at 11. In his small factory, there wasn't all this stuff you see today, that they'll sue and have you arrested if they catch a minor working. There was no such thing. We started working as kids, right? Then he answers here, right? Because he works and all, right? He says that his work is hard and all, right? And Silvio asked, do you think his work is hard? Stuff like that. The father got emotional. The boy's father was there in the audience and got emotional. That show that Silvio Santos had, right? Porta das Esperanças and all. And look at that. Just a second, I think you can put it on.
What is your wish?
To win a cement mixer to give to my dad.
Man, you have to break your heart. Break your heart, man. And Silvio Santos used to do that to us, right?
Really, it's hard because the cement mixer is very difficult. Someone gave your father the cement mixer.
See?
The cement mixer is coming here.
See, Silvio? Don't do that, girl. Don't do that. Do it. Stop betraying the Brazilian heart, more than it has already been betrayed by all these filthy characters. What did they do to our country? They left our country in this situation. Eternal longing, you know? For this great man. How much we miss someone like Silvio Santos. How much we miss him.